Welcome back, Pickle Schmickle. You found us.
Thank you. Yeah, so episode 1 was just jam-packed. And it's pretty much just Ash starting his journey. He misses out on all the Pokemon that he wanted, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, because he overslept, but then he ends up getting a Pikachu that doesn't want to listen to him, doesn't want to go in its ball. And so he sets out on his journey, and Pikachu's not really helping. So he tries to catch Pokemon on his own. A Pidgey, Rattata, Spearow, and just kind of ends up angering a whole horde of Spearows. Because I guess they don't like being hit by rocks. It makes them cry and get angry. And so he runs off with Pikachu, steals Misty's bike. Who's Misty? I don't know. Someone, I guess that's...
Did it say her name?
Part of the... Did it say? I don't know. Some lady, some girl, steals her bike.
Some ginger. Some soulless fisher.
Yeah. And so these Spearows are coming to attack him, and he's like, okay, well, Pikachu, you're not going to go on your ball. I'm just going to go in front of these Spearows and let them kill me so that you can be safe. And Pikachu is touched by this, so he jumps off of his shoulder and electrocutes probably every Pokemon within sight. And then everybody passes out, and Ash and Pikachu wake up staring into each other's eyes as Ho-Oh flies overhead. Or some Pokemon that I've never seen before that makes rainbows by shooting him out of his butt.
Was that like in the morning? You think they passed out like for hours?
I think so. It seemed like it. But there you go. I've just recrapped all over your face.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the right response.
As you should. Yes, where it belongs.
Oh no. So this episode is called Pokemon Emergency. And episode 2, I imagine... Do you remember this episode?
Yes.
I'm trying to think because I did not look at
There's
the picture yet.
a certain act of terrorism was done in this episode.
Oh, yes. This is when Team Rocket, I think, actually looks like they could be a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Should be good. Should be good.
Before we start, why don't you tell us how your Nuzlocke's going, and then let us know how your other program, which everyone can catch up on, your Goosebumps things coming along.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for letting me plug in.
Mm-hmm.
My Goosebumps, I already finished reading Smile. It was called Cheese and Die. Say Cheese and Die. And so I've already got all my notes down and everything. I just need to find a minute to record it. So that one's coming very soon.
Which, for those of you who don't know, we were informed that is the only Goosebumps book that actually contained a murder in it.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear about that murder, if you're into that kind of stuff, like we know all our viewers are.
Yeah. Anything that's murder or
anything that's
sex.
Just robbing innocence of their life.
Yeah, there you go. Anything that's robbing your innocence. That's what we try to do here. We try to get the most wholesome things with it.
Just twist and contort it so you can't recognize it anymore.
Oh, you used to read those books?
Yeah.
Goosebumps books are so good. I actually have only read like 2 before when I was a kid, but now we're going through all of them and reviewing them on our channel, and they're really good. They're better than I remember. And they're fun. They're fun stories. Really good build up. So yeah, Say Cheese and Die will be coming out soon, and as far as my Nuzlocke goes, I have a little I guess a goal. I'm trying to do a Nuzlocke on all the regions. So I've already done Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh, and right now I'm working on Unova. and I'm not very far yet. I'm at the electric gym, so I'm about to enter the electric gym, which is the third gym, I believe. Yeah.
It goes monkeys, bug, and
Oh,
then
so fourth. It'd be fourth. Because it'd be the monkeys, normal, bug,
normal.
and
Yeah.
electric.
Mhm.
Okay, so about halfway, I guess, for the gyms. Unfortunately, this has been the most unlucky run I've had. I've lost as many Pokemon as I have right now, and I have like 2 water, 2 fire, flying type or something. So we'll see how it goes.
Do you still have your starter?
I still have my starter. I have Duat and my water. I have Duat and what's the Seismitoad one? Palpitoad. And then I've got Simisear and Darmanitan. Or Darumaka, that's what it is, Darumaka. And then I have Unfezant. Not Unfezant. What's the one between Unfezant and Pidef?
I don't know.
Alright, that bird. And then... yeah, I think that's all I have, actually. Yeah, I think I have like 5 Pokemon. So, oh no, and then I caught a Sandile. Yeah, so that's good.
I do love that evolution line.
Oh, Sandile's so cool. Yeah, yep. So I've been trying
Yep.
just recently. Yep. Just recently, we have been trying to get these Nuzlocke Elite Fours at least on our channel. So when I get there, if I get there, we can record that.
If I get there, you'll get there. All right, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go. You two will be right back. Let's start episode 2.
Yep. Video is on the description below the link.
Let me know when you're ready to do a 3, 2, 1.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man. Was that a doozy?
Well, I did not compare to the last episode. I think this one had less going on.
Yep. Welcome back, YouTube. We're back too.
Yeah. Hope you didn't hold your breath too long. Yeah. Oh, he said what? He said no. It's been too long. Oh, that's from the Goosebumps. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. You have any initial thoughts before you recap?
No, none that I won't be like deep diving, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, then hit us up.
So this episode starts off kind of where the last one picked up. Wait, this episode picks off. The last one kind of left off. Ash is running to town with his injured Pikachu, where he is stopped by Officer Jenny because he's looking suspicious. Her reason for stopping is because people usually carry their Pokemon in their Pokemon balls, and Ash is not. Yet the whole police force doesn't carry Growlithe in their police balls. They also follow along.
Do you think that's kind of like one of the signs of Poke Thief is if they have a Pokemon but they don't have it in the ball?
Yeah, you would think the easiest way to steal a Pokemon would be to steal what's in the ball.
Exactly. Yeah, doesn't make sense to me. I guess if you like really beat it up, like how Pikachu was.
Yeah.
No.
Officer Jenny finally believes him that he's not stealing Pikachu after going through his Pokedex. She rushes him to the Pokemon Center where they take Pikachu back to the ICU. Ash calls his mom just to mope, but his mom kind of gives him a pick-me-up. 2 seconds later, Professor Oak calls and kind of talks to him too. Kind of tells him that he's seen things when it comes to legendary Pokemon, and he told me he bet $1 million that Ash is catching Pokemon and lost that bet.
That was a stupid bet to make.
Yeah, where Misty kind of barges in holding her bike. Misty's there trying to hold Ash accountable while Ash is deflecting and changing the subject. Pikachu's then rushed out. They see Pikachu. Ash is kind of talking to him when Team Rocket attack. Team Rocket kind of break things and crash things, and Ash attempts to fight them. Misty takes over and doesn't do any better, if not maybe worse. The weird part was they verbally told Ash, "We don't want your Pikachu." Excuse me. But when Ash runs away with Pikachu, they chase him. Instead of getting all the Pokeballs. All the Pikachus come out and shock Team Rocket. It kind of inspires Pikachu to get a Pika Pika power, so Ash turns Misty's bike upside down and starts riding it, which is somehow generating electricity to a headlight on the bike that Pikachu touches and gathers the strength from, and electroshocks Team Rocket, which sets off an explosion from Coughing's gas, completely obliterating the town center. Surprisingly, everyone survives. Not only the electricity, not only the poison gas, not only the explosion, not only the building collapsing, but the complete just everyone's fine,
Yeah.
And in fact, things are so fine that after the wreckage, Nurse Joy is on a phone call on the computer in the destroyed building with the next town over.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's the same computer that Ekans bit through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too. And the episode ends off with Ash throwing a Pokeball and a Caterpie.
Yeah. Yeah, you covered it all.
So, what are your thoughts on this episode?
Number one, I don't believe that Officer Jenny's a real police officer. I think it's just a family of Jennies who like playing dress up in heels and then kind of telling people what to do and giving people a hard time. I mean, Pikachu was in bad shape, and she's just like, "How do I know you didn't steal it?" It's like, should we just go to the hospital first and then we can talk about it? Because my Pikachu's about to die right now. Like, oh, look, a Pokedex. Let's ask the Pokedex if this is truly you. It's like, oh my god.
How do you think, Officer Jenny, if she is, an imposter, I mean, at what point do you think, it's not, how many people have to believe she's a police officer for her to actually be a police officer,
Bro, I don't think the Pokemon,
if the
Pokemon world doesn't have a police, and she just takes it upon herself, and everybody just kind of plays along because they know that she's crazy.
Her whole family's crazy,
just her whole family. They'll come after you, if you spill their secret or if you don't pay attention to them. I don't know, man. I don't like that. I remember I used to work at waiting tables, and if something fell, which happens, when you're waiting tables, dishes fall sometimes, food falls on the floor.
Is this when you're working for the best company in the world?
Brookdale?
Where?
Brookdale?
Never mind. Nope.
No. Oh, you're thinking of Texas Hamburger. No, it was when I was. It was a geriatric place. But food falls sometimes. It happens. You have these big old platters, tons of bowls of soup and salads, whatever. And I had a manager where if something fell, he'd want to know okay, who did this? What happened? He wanted the whole story. And it's just okay. right now we have 100 people, maybe not 100, but close to 100 people waiting for their food. Do we really need to discuss this right now? Can we just work and then talk about it when it dies off? I don't know. That's a huge pet peeve of mine. And Jenny is always doing this. I know this is the first episode we see her, so I won't get into like the future episodes, but Jenny's always doing this. Just slowing everything down, making everything harder on everyone. I'm sure there's times where she's useful and she does the right thing and she is needed. For the most part, I think she's just a pain in the butt, really. Not a big fan. This is the first episode. I mean, we've only seen 2 episodes, I guess, but this is an episode where we hear about Ash's father.
Is this the only time we hear about him?
I believe so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe later we will, but not in season 1. When his mom says, "Oh, you're in Viridian already? It took your dad like 2 weeks or something to get to Viridian," and he immediately shuts that conversation down and starts talking about how he's feeling.
He's like, "Oh my god, my dad was a bigger loser than me."
Pretty much, yeah. She's still asking about his underwear. You changing your underwear? And Ash is like, yes.
Yeah.
It's like that Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Look in my eyes and tell me, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm changing my underwear. This is our first iteration of Pika Pika Power. I think Rayman kind of explained how ridiculous it is. How is this bike completely wrecked except the light on it? And how can he even move the pedals?
Yeah, and why do the pedals charge it?
Yeah, right. I mean, that'd be cool.
Even if the riding the bike, caused an electric current, and caused the light to shine, there's no way that's storing energy, like the harder and faster he runs, like it's storing all that kinetic energy and into like electric energy so that Pikachu can like transfer it to its body to expel it onto Team Rocket. Like I don't understand.
Right, Ryan, I promise you I'm not going to fight you on this one. At all. Like, at all. You're entirely right. It makes no sense. When we get to our rating, I am going to boost the rating just up a little bit because this is our first glimpse of Coughing, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, and he has a great, great debut. Destroying the entire Pokemon Center.
And looking like a boss.
Looking like
so
a
happy.
Boss. Like Coughing. Freaking destroying the computers, like attacking the Pokemon. I didn't really understand. I thought it was kind of a cool idea to have Ash throw a bunch of random Pokeballs and see, what came out.
Yeah, I love that.
Of course they went really safe and just went with Pokemon we've already seen, like Pidgey and Rattata. But Misty's like...
Oh, I was saying, what my favorite thing about Coughing is? Like, Coughing kind of like, like does a little smoke screen and throws out his little poison gas, But when Coughing wants to attack something, he has to throw just like himself at it. Like he has to just completely just vulnerable, and just like head first, body first, just go right into it.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
He came in like a wrecking ball.
Pretty much, yeah. You have to love him. You gotta love him. Misty really confused me though, man. I mean, she was like, oh, okay, I'll take care of this. And she throws out a Goldeen, which you can't fight in water, she says. And so I'm thinking, why is she doing this? And she's like, just leave, go take Pikachu. I was like, oh, she's trying to distract them. She's trying to keep Team Rocket distracted as long as possible. But as soon as Ash is like, oh, okay, and then runs off, Ekans and Coughing are right behind him. So her Goldeen trick didn't work out.
No.
I guess she didn't want to
competent for nothing.
Yeah, I guess she didn't want to show her ace Pokemon because later she's going to have to use them. in a episode where we have a twist about who Misty truly is.
We need a spoiler warning. We don't even know her name yet.
Did we not know her name yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. I like how I just love coffee. This episode's not very inspiring. This episode's not very well put together, and the way they defeat Team Rocket really looked like a threat in this episode. I feel like they really did look like a threat, but the way they disposed of Team Rocket it wasn't very inspiring. It didn't make sense. It was kind of dumb. It was kind of stupid. But yeah, I mean, it was nice to see Team Rocket actually seem like villains, and actually be competent to some degree. Mm-hmm. They didn't steal any Pokemon, but they did destroy and cause havoc, as true villains should, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing that really threw me off was the weird ending. They're like, oh, they're gonna take. They're gonna go. What are they saying? They're gonna go to through the Viridian Forest. And they said, "Oh, I hope they can make it through the Viridian Forest, okay." And then just shows Ash and Misty in the Viridian Forest running into Caterpie, and that's the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's a weird place to end an episode. I guess it was trying to make a cliffhanger on if they were going to catch Caterpie or not. Is that what it is?
I think they were this is a new setting. Ash has a little more experience. He's gonna try to catch a Pokemon again, and I think they wanted to show that Misty is gonna be traveling with them now too. Since they didn't tell us with words, they're showing us, Misty's.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that, but yeah, it was kind of strange. It's like you said, they destroy this whole Pokemon Center, a huge Pokemon Center, and everything in it except one computer. And then they're like, okay, bye.
Bye.
Good luck. Hope you have insurance. Pokesurance. I mean, yeah, that's all I gotta say. It was more or less episode. I think the only thing I would do to change it, but I feel like this change would make a very significant change, or very significant difference in the episode and how it was done, is keep Team Rocket the way they are, and actually have Ash and Misty have to work together to defeat the Coughing and the Ekans. I wasn't really a big fan of having all these random Pikachus that Pokemon Center has, just piling up on Pikachu, and everything being okay. And then the bike scene didn't make sense. Yeah, the bike scene didn't make sense. I don't mind the explosion, but I don't feel like it was earned. If that makes sense. I don't think Pikachu earned it.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna give my hot take.
You got a hot take?
Mm-hmm.
This is the greatest episode I've ever seen.
You're right.
This is the greatest film.
I do enjoy it when episodes kind of pick up where we last left off, and not unless it serves the narrative, not a lot of time has gone by. We start with Ash getting up from his Nala Eye moment with Pikachu on the ground, and running to get into safety. Like you said, when Officer Jenny stops him and talks to him, it takes away from, how to say, the being engaged and the believability, and really just putting yourself in the show when something that isn't believable happens. The whole thing's just fantasy, and everything. But when an officer stops you when you're having an emergency, and they can't prioritize what's happening, or can't move and talk, it's kind of why is she doing this, it serves more to frustrate you than to character build this new person who's going to be an important part of the series. Whether it's that Officer Jenny or one in another city. We remember like, oh man, Pikachu is actually very hurt, and she'll just bugging Ash on whether they're an ID or not. Because the point is whether Ash stole that Pikachu or not, the Pikachu needed medical assistance. And it could have been settled at the Pokemon Center. Which I understand why it would look, especially if Misty came in and they're at the Pokemon Center, like, did you steal this Pokemon, and Misty comes in, he stole my bike. Like, it's
Yeah.
There's definitely some consequences that Ash needed to own up to. Because he destroyed $1 million worth of someone's property. Whether
Owning
Misty
up is not a thing that Ash does.
Yeah. And I do believe that was in the jurisdiction of the law to hold him accountable. Another thing is we get to the Pokemon Center. She scolds Officer Jenny and then scolds Ash, which is refreshing to hear. Like, like our protagonist isn't protected by the plot enough that when he does something wrong, the show won't not call him out on it.
Yeah.
Because while it wasn't necessarily him battling that got Pikachu to that extreme state it was in, it was Ash's actions that caused it by throwing a rock at a sparrow, which is not something you do in the wild. Like the Pokédex warned Ash at least twice, like people battle Pokemon to catch it, and through his stubbornness didn't listen and got Pikachu's life in danger. He probably
That's crazy, man. That's crazy how you connected the dots on that, though. Because, like, what you're saying is, Ash threw a rock at a Spearow, and that caused the Spearow to get his gang of Spearows, which caused them to attack Ash and Pikachu, which caused Ash to feel like he needed to steal a bike, which caused Misty to chase after them, which caused Pikachu to need to go to the hospital, which caused them to meet Team Rocket, which caused them to destroy this. Everything happened because he threw a rock at Spearow.
Yeah, it's like the butterfly effect, He's so Ash, they're in the Pikachu, he calls his mom, like upset as he rightfully should be, but he doesn't explain why he's upset, and the mom kind of cheers him up on, I get it's her child, but when you cheer them up like that and you don't teach them to be accountable, like, no wonder Ash is like, he just sweeps everything under the rug, like, he is raised to, like, when he's upset or does something wrong, like, he just moves on,
Right. He doesn't even give validation.
No,
it's just a matter of like, why would you feel like that? Just be happy, be good.
Yeah, they both just
remember that you're awesome.
It boils down to the fact that, like, when someone else is upset, it makes you uncomfortable, and to escape that uncomfortable feeling, you try and cheer them up,
Right.
So Ash's mom is just as self-serving as Ash is, which is
and entitled. I mean, they're both pretty entitled.
So Team Rocket, I gotta say too, out of the whole episode, my favorite part is just like Team Rocket just mic dropping their Pokeballs through the ceiling and just unleashing the Pokemon in the Pokemon Center. Like, that was just chef kiss to me. That was great, I do, and I love the fact that, like, Ash is like just throwing Pokeballs, seeing like, like the spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. I believe it would have validated Team Rocket as the threat that they are if Team Rocket actually battled and knocked out the Pokemon Ash was using, as a surrogate for Pikachu while Pikachu was hurt.
Instead of scaring.
Instead of scaring them off,
Right. Yeah.
And we would not have needed Misty to jump in, and it wouldn't have damaged Misty's character and made her look incompetent either. If Misty was tending to Pikachu while Ash was buying time, and it would have validated Team Rocket as a threat if they did that. The Pika Pika power was completely unnecessary, especially because we see after the building has collapsed and the Pikachus aren't running on a treadmill, the computer still worked. There was really no need for that. That could have been cut out for more interesting stuff. But they did it because they wanted to show Pikachu being inspired for their own Pika Pika power.
Yeah, all those Pikachus were not necessary at all for this episode.
Especially because, like, the second time they're shown, they're stumbling around, and they all electroshock Team Rocket and their Pokemon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which
They
isn't
electrocute Pikachu, don't they? And then Pikachu has the power to electrocute.
They shocked Team Rocket, and then Ash jumped on the bike inspired, generates his own electricity.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So all those Pikachus combined couldn't knock out Team Rocket. But Pikachu, with the help of bike power, completely fried them.
the bike power. I like that.
And I mean, I'm completely shitting on this episode, but it's actually okay. This episode was decent. Especially like it's hard to not compare it to what's to come.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, there's parts of it that don't make sense.
Yeah, I do think that Team Rocket had a beautiful entrance. Like, they were poetic. They come in as threats. They come in efficiently. They are there. They set out to do what they're gonna do, and they were thwarted. Like through an unconventional means because they were too powerful to take on head to head, which is some good story writing. But the episode just has some off things, like it's off,
Yeah.
Are you still here, Pickle Schmickle? If so, you can tell us what you think too.
Yeah.
We do get to see. Yeah, we do get to see Team Rocket blast off for the first time. Iconic. We see them do their entrance. Their entrance poem, iconic. We see their Pokemon. Great. This is our first Pokemon battle-ish. Also.
Yeah. I also get the feeling from this episode that Meowth is kind of mysterious. Like, we don't really know what his abilities or his powers or what he can do. When they first show him, it's like a zoomed in picture of his face, so you don't even see his whole body. They're trying to keep him very mysterious. And even when the Team Rocket gets attacked by all the Pikachu, Meowth doesn't. So I don't know. I feel like they were building this Meowth to be pretty good, probably better than Coughing and Ekans. And then as soon as Ash's Pikachu gets on the bike, he easily defeats Meowth. So that would have been nice to have a back and forth with Meowth and Pikachu. To have Meowth actually scratching Pikachu and Pikachu falling down, and maybe Pikachu's still affected by what happened to him with Spearows, and so he can't give the full power just yet. And so Meowth is actually maybe getting the better of Pikachu until Pikachu maybe gets angry or Ash comes in and helps him or something, Because I don't know, I felt like they were doing a very good job keeping Meowth kind of mysterious and maybe powerful, but then pretty much instantly he goes blasting off everyone else.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they could have done a better job emphasizing the fact that it was a very unconventional means of defeating Team Rocket, and that maybe Team Rocket was too strong to just battle one-on-one, you know?
Yeah.
Which is going to be completely obliterated in this next episode.
Yep.
You know?
This is the next one where he says you can only do one-on-one battles or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you ready to move on?
Yep, let's do encounters.
Okay, our encounters today, if you want to follow us, we got them up on the chat. They are Meowth, Chansey, Coughing, Ekans, Pikachu, Pidgey, Rattata, Goldeen, and Caterpie. I am, of course, going with Coughing every day. Every single day.
I guess I'd have to go with Pikachu. I'm a huge Raichu fan.
Yeah. Okay. Unless you live in Alola.
Yeah, then I'm not. I'm not a Raichu fan at all. In fact, I hate Raichu. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, why don't you give me your
My rating.
Your rating? Yeah.
I'll rate this 3.5 Pika Pika powers. Just because it is above average, and tons of iconic firsts in it.
Okay.
But like, there's just too many inconsistencies and missed chances and just weird things going on.
Yeah, I wish I could rate it a little bit higher too, because I think that's kind of the consensus. We want to rate it higher, but we can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll go with 3 computer smashes. The problems with this episode are few. There's only a few of them, but they kind of dominate the episode, which kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I love Coughing in this episode, and Ekans. They look great.
Yeah.
They look great. And Team Rocket really looks menacing. This is probably the first time we actually, maybe, I want to say the first and only time, but maybe there's a couple more episodes here coming up where we feel like Team Rocket is actually a scary thing that you should fear. But, yeah. I mean, well done introducing Team Rocket and hit their Pokemon. And well done at showing us that Pikachu is a special Pikachu, and that's why Team Rocket spends the rest of forever trying to catch it.
The rest of their life.
Yeah, the rest of their life. But yeah, that's all I've got to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not as much going on as the first episode, which is jam-packed full of stuff. That was an overall good episode.
Yep. Alright, guys. You do like Tropius and keep your bananas on your chin. Give your significant other those Nala eyes, those look at me Pikachu after we got attacked by Spearo's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be a Jenny. Don't be a Jenny. Unless your name is Jenny, then that's fine. But don't be like a what do they call it when they the people go to the Comic-Con and they dress up? Cosplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't be a cosplay police officer. Just don't do it.
Be an actual officer.
Yeah.
Alrighty, man. Peace out, guys.
Catch you guys soon. Bye.